talking to you about an event I just went to. It was called the BMW M event. It was at Hendrick Northlake here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we was able to. I got invited via email. I guess because I've taken my car there for service, and they were gonna have a bunch of cars out there, a bunch of M cars out there for us to drive. So went out there today, check it out, see what it's all about. When I got there, they had a bunch of M Town stuff everywhere, a bunch of people there to assist you and sign up to be able to drive. So apparently my registration that I submitted online didn't work, so I had to register when I got there, which was cool. It did kind of push me back behind some other people, but it wasn't that big a deal. So first thing they gave me was this M Town Tour little wristband here. It's kind of cool. It matches my shirt that I have on now, so you know, like I came dressed for the event. And then after that, I waited outside for the car. So now the vehicle lineup that they had there, they had an X3, the X3 M30i with it had a performance exhaust and performance tune on it. They also had an 850, the 850M. They also had the M5 Competition, M2 Competition, and a M4. So those were the vehicles that you were able to drive at the event. So they had a big slew of cars there you were able to drive at the event. So just to go ahead and get it, I wasn't able to drive the X3 M40. When it was time for me to drive that, somebody already had it and they were out joyriding. I was able to drive the M5 Competition. I was able to drive the M4, and I was also able to drive the M2 Competition. So I'll give you my thoughts on all those as well. So I wasn't able to drive. So let me get into the reasons why I wasn't able to drive the 850. So wasn't able to drive the 850. One, there was a long waiting list, and it was getting later and closer to the end of the event. And two, and that was the main thing. And then two, you couldn't ride with it. You couldn't drive the car by yourself. So there was only two cars that wouldn't let you drive by yourself, and that was the 850 and that was the M5 Competition. So I'm guessing because they're the most expensive cars out there. The 850 had a long waiting list, and so did the M5 Competition. So the first car I was able to drive when I got outside was the M2 Competition. The M2 Competition, it was a very, very nice, aggressive car. I can see why a lot of people say that that's like their favorite BMW, and it's the best BMW they have. I was able to get some outside shots of that and give you a little bit of my thoughts right after the quick drive, and that will be coming right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So if you can see what's right in front of me is an M2 Competition. So I'm at the BMW M event, and I'm able to test drive this bad boy here, and I'm gonna have some other couple cars I'm gonna be able to test drive. So this thing right here, I could tell you, is mean. I love this color, love the carbon fiber accents, the M performance all over. I'm just taking it out and driving it, especially compared to my car. I would say the shifts definitely a lot stronger, a lot faster, pulls a lot harder. I could probably definitely could achieve this power with a couple more power adders, which I will be doing shortly on my car. But just straight out the box, out of a package, it's pretty nice. Check out those brakes there, cross drilled. It's probably 6-piston, probably. Not sure. Pretty sure you all will be able to correct that if I'm wrong on that. But I love the carbon fiber pieces they added to it in the competition pack. I know this is like one of the BMWs that a lot of the purists like. The interior, just like any other BMW, nothing too crazy there. The seats, they do hold you in place, which this is a car you need to be held into place when you drive it. For me, being a bigger guy, I'm a little bit wider than most people. It is a little tight for me, but I would say for mostly everybody else, they will be fine. Check out the M Competition right there on the door seal. The one thing that I did notice is I know with the dual clutch, like I said, there is no park button. So in order to get the car really to park, you have to pull up on the e-brake here, which is pretty cool. It kind of reminds you of like driving a manual. You know, in manual there ain't no park button. You have to, you know, do that too. So it's pretty cool. But all in all, first drive, first impressions, I'm very impressed with the BMW M2 Competition. Definitely lives up to the hype. All right, so that was my M2 Competition thoughts. Very, very nice car, very aggressive. Man, that, like I said, you know, great car, great drive. And I was lucky because the guy that was directly after me ended up running over something, and they had to pull the car off the event. So I got the car just in time. So I was happy about that. Next car I was able to drive was the M5 Competition. I wasn't able to get any real footage of that, but to give you my thoughts on the M5 Competition, the guy I was riding with, he let me drive it like I normally would, let me open it up. I will tell you that car is scary fast. All the reviews and all the stuff you ever heard about the M5 Competition, but you know, with the engine and everything you heard from all the other car enthusiasts and car people out there is true. That car is scary fast. I was just getting off of, I was getting on the exit ramp and getting on another ramp to another road, and I just kind of punched it. And I wasn't even in sport mode, and I was able to hit some pretty good speeds. That car is scary fast, but that all-wheel drive, it does give you a sense of security when you do want to drive aggressive like that. So I can kind of see why they went all-wheel drive, because when you have that much power in a car, you know, just having two wheels drive that much power is possible, but and they can do it, but it just gives you a better sense of security. I also say just driving the car was very comfortable. Me being a big guy, wider guy than most, I was super comfortable in the seats. I also noticed that the seats were cooled, which is great. I wish BMW put cooled seats in a lot of their other cars. They seem to skip out on that in a lot of their cars. But I would say as far as the M5 Competition, that thing's a beast. I think the one they had there didn't have a whole lot of options. I think the guy told me it was around like 90-something thousand. So definitely wasn't a fully spec'd out model, but just driving that, man, that thing was a beast. And again, that's my thoughts on the M5 Competition. Again, sorry I wasn't able to get any live footage on that, on even the outside of that one. You know, as soon as I got out the car, somebody else jumped right in. And then as soon as they came back, somebody else jumped right in. The M5 Competition was the hottest car there, and there was some people going for it, and there was a long waiting list. So just even the fact I was able to drive it was rare, especially since my registration didn't go through. So the next car after that was the M4. So funny story about the M4. I didn't see it when I first got to the event. I had been there for maybe about an hour at a time. And I remember seeing it on the listing, and I still didn't see it. And then it was like right after I got back from the M5, the M4 pulls up. And the guy that was driving it gets out, and all the people were like, where have you been? Because the M4 is one of the cars that you can just get in and drive by yourself. They told you, you know, take every car about 10-15 minutes to get a feel for it and come back. Don't go on the highway. Well, they told everybody. I'm pretty sure this guy had it all over the place, because they said he was gone for like an hour. So he kind of ruined it for everybody else after him, because I think they told me they're gonna put trackers on the cars after that point, because they were a little concerned, because they said they called this guy like 3 times, and he just kept sending them the voicemail. So this guy was out joyriding, you know, telling what he was doing, gone for like an hour in an M4. So he really was getting his he really was test driving the car. So I thought that was a little rude. You know, BMW's holding an event like that, and you don't want to fully take advantage of them because you hurt everyone else. It's kind of selfish, but you know, it is what it is. So M4. So these are my initial thoughts of the M4. I was able to get some outside shots and kind of tell you what I thought, and kind of give you a little bit of footage here. So that will be coming right here. All right, everyone. So this is the M4. I would say first impressions, I kind of wasn't that impressed. What I mean by that is still an awesome car, but in comparison to my 435, at first I was like, it's not that much difference. But once I really got into it and I really started taking the corners, I could really tell the difference then. So definitely could tell the difference once I started really pushing it. I think the 435 kind of falls apart when you try to push it all the way to 10/10, where this car kind of hangs on a lot better. And I think that's the biggest difference, is that you can push this car all the way to the limit, whereas with the regular stock 435, it kind of falls apart somewhat. So, but definitely a nice car. Check out those brakes. So, all in all, then look at it on the inside. There isn't a big difference on the inside. The seats, of course, is one of the biggest differences there. You got the little pass-throughs, which look pretty cool. But other than that, as far as the other interior spots, besides the dual clutch and some of the buttons down here, there isn't much difference between the 435, my 435, and this car. So, but I like it. It's cool. And I don't have any other. Oh, one thing: carbon fiber roof. That thing is mean. Now I do like that. All right, so that was my quick thoughts on the M4. And now that I think about it, you know, after having some time to think about it, I think the reason why the M4 really didn't feel as powerful, a couple reasons. One, my car has a tune on it, even though it's only the M Performance tune. It isn't the stock 435, so it does close that gap just a tad. Two, I had just got finished driving the M5 and the M2, and those cars are very fast. The M2, you know, the power isn't much difference at all, but you know, power to weight ratio is gonna feel faster. So, and the M5 is just a monster. So I think driving all those cars back to back, it made the M4 seem a lot less tame. Maybe that's the reason why I felt that initial like, it's powerful, but it's not what I thought I was gonna feel like a night and day difference, and it's not necessarily that. But like I said, you know, taking it through the turns, taking around corners, that's where you can really see the difference. So all in all, definitely had fun. You know, it was free. All you had to do was show up. So definitely can't complain on that. Shout out to BMW for holding that event. Shout out to Hendrick Northlake, BMW for hosting the event. It definitely was a good event. I would definitely love to see more of that from other car makers as well, if they do have them. You know, I've owned quite a few cars, and that's my first time getting an invite of that sort from an automaker. So that was pretty cool, especially for it to be free. So you really can't complain on that. Another thing that I got that they gave me, which was pretty cool, was this BMW water bottle. As you can see there, it's all black water bottle with the BMW insignia right there. Nice little top here. So there's something else free that I got at the event. So it's pretty cool BMW to offer us that as well. Another thing that they talked about, because we're very close to the U.S. BMW Performance Center and also one of the manufacturing plants. So here in Charlotte, which is down in Greenville, South Carolina, it's only like 45 minutes to an hour from here. They talk about, you know, the M driving school they have down there, and the events that they have down there. You can go down there and do like test drives of like the X3, X5, take them off the road and do all that stuff. So they talk about that stuff too. Maybe something I'll do maybe later on down the road. You can do like a track day or whatever they have down there for like $300 for like a couple hours or whatever. But they talk about that too. But maybe that's something I can do down the road. Maybe they'll let me take my car out there or whatever. So all in all, it's a good event. Thank y'all for watching. If you like what you saw, please like, please subscribe, please comment down below, and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.